Okay, Friday, September 2nd. It's 3 minutes into trading, and I wanted to kind of do my opening video live a little bit, the SPY opening. You can see here, this is the daily chart. What happened was we kind of opened right at the top of the pre-market range, which I'll show you, and we were immediately selling off a little bit. Yet, to me, it's a kind of a two-up day that has a target up to that high, of Wednesday. So we're selling off here, but I don't want to get too aggressive going short because we're above the midpoint of the prior day. So at this point, what I'm looking for is some kind of red to green move, which I'll show you here. This is the 15-minute chart. So this was the range I drew in, the pre-market high and low. For us to head up today, I need to have some kind of opening price action that fails going down or started going up, whatever it is, above this pre-market high. So as long as, if we're not doing that, then I'm not too excited to get long. And let's say we come down into this area and have a red to green move, and I buy it, my first target will be up to that high, and then I'll see if it breaks through to have continuation on the day. And if we get continuation on the day, if it even happens, you're looking at this next line here above the pre-market high to turn the week green. So it would be a type of thing where if we could rally in here this morning and get a buy and then head up a little higher, this could actually turn green on the week, and that will kind of lead us into next week, maybe expecting a little higher. But as I've discussed in general, I don't want to get too much into it now because I want to look more at the opening price action. As long as the monthly chart can't rally above its halfway high, either into this week or into next week, then I'm eventually looking for it to roll over to the downside to go to the bottom of the range of this green bar after this kind of shooter bar in August. So September starting up a little bit, but looking for sell signals. And if you look at it that way, it's kind of like downtrend in place, a little bit of a pullback, and then we'll look for a sell, to start testing these lows again, maybe into next week. Of course, if we have a big down day, a down move here, which we're getting, and we get follow through, I guess you could, since the overall trend's down, you could play it down to that pre-market low, but you really got to break through there to have a negative day. And for this day to really be negative, you got to get past the midpoint of yesterday, below the midpoint of yesterday, which we're nowhere near. So to me, I still see this as kind of a conflicted day, given that we're getting the sell-off at the open. I'd rather look for, if this was I'd rather look for a red to green kind of move here. What do we got here? We still have, this is halfway through the bar, so we got to still see how this bar closes. If we follow through a little lower to start maybe to those lows, you can play that, but I wouldn't get, typically I wouldn't get too aggressive because we're still way above the midpoint of the prior day. But, and that, that's where, and, so we'll kind of get down there maybe, and then maybe hold down there. It doesn't mean I'm going to buy, if we have a few bars down there, it doesn't mean, let's say we go red, red, red. At that point, we're a little too low for a red to green move that I really would anticipate these highs taken out. So what I'm showing you here is we're starting lower. At this moment, let's see how this bar closes. If we just barely kind of hold in, if we hold in here and then start red to green, I would buy that, looking to see if we can get above that market. If not, we might just stay in this area, and then I'd have to see if we stay in this area with a bunch of 15-minute bars, I'll have to see, where the breakout occurs, up or down. So right now, it looks like we're inside the range, and the top and bottom of the range are going to be the targets for any signals that develop in here, and then we just have to see if we follow through way below that or way above this area. But for now, I'm actually still thinking long, a little bit of a sell-off at the open in line with the trend, but I still am going to go with this daily chart that's in a two-up mode with a potential target up to that previous bar on Wednesday. So we'll just see what happens. I just wanted to show you the open, no problem here with this. I'm just going to look for stocks that kind of have red to green move. But if we don't get that and we fail, we could be heading down to this, bottom of this range to start the day. So, I'll start looking at all the stocks out there. I'm just looking at Meta. It's selling off big. Nvidia selling off big. So you kind of judge if these are, now what you do is, you kind of see if this is a big red bar below its pre-market action, then there could be a sell down here. And again, you'd have to then analyze on the daily chart what the low is, what the targets are, and everything else. But just watching all the stocks, they're all kind of moving down at the open. So some of them are below, it's conflicted to me because you're taking, what I would like on a lot of these longs is like Netflix, you take out the intraday low here, the pre-market low, but you're still above the midpoint of yesterday. So at this point, you can get a red to green move if it happens happens on the first, second bar, and you could be looking at back to those highs, just taking out some stops here. So that's something to keep in mind. But for now, it's just a question: do you want to play the red follow through to the downside? Should that develop, and kind of know and see if we can get below the halfway point of any bar? If not, it's not going to follow through that much. Or are we going to get some red to green moves, to the upside, which I don't really see developing at all right now. So just be patient here at the open. A little tricky Friday. Again, big picture looking down. We are gapping up above yesterday, midpoint of yesterday. So we'll just have to see what happens. And I'll kind of do a recap video on the SPY, at the end of the day, and a whole weekend outlook and into next week.